it comes to crawler tractors, they're in all shapes and sizes. Some are really big, and some, like yours, are really, really small.
Yes,
Dennis, tell us just a little bit about your crawler tractor.
This is a 1970 Struck MD-1600. It was a kit that was sold out of the back of Popular Mechanics back in the day. If you remember, that magazine was very popular when we were kids, and people like us that liked mechanical toys, tractors, things, they'd read those magazines. In the back, you could order it. It would come in a pallet with all the sheet metal. You'd bend it, you'd weld it, you'd essentially do all the fabrication of it. Many of the components on there, other than the sheet metal, was available at tractor stores back in the day, or hardware stores, really, which they don't carry that kind of thing anymore. So the parts to restore this are hard to find, and many times you have to reuse older parts, or you have to really search deep, right, to get them.
So Dennis, this is about a 1970?
That's correct. Makes it 49 years old.
Yeah. And it's a Struck, and you put it together. Tell us just a little bit about the process you went through to make it look like this.
Well, I was looking for a small dozer like this because of the show this year, being tracked vehicles, and a friend of mine found it behind an old blacksmith shop. And this thing was about a quarter of the way into the dirt, so it was wasting away. So I bought it, and I took it home, and I immediately started disassembling it. I took photos, documented where things went, what it looked like before. Totally blasted, sandblasted the frame, had to refabricate some of the mechanical parts, and replaced all the bearings, all the seals, rebuilt the motor, carburetor, things like that, and actually fabricated the crawler system, or the tracks.
Now, it's a 1970 Struck MD. I'm guessing MD is not because it's got a medical degree.
No, it's a mini dozer, and they made several models around this time. They made a 1200 and a 1600. This happens to be a 1600. So it's a 16 horse Tecumseh electric start engine. It's got 2-speed forward, 1-speed reverse. It's all mechanical. The blade lift is mechanical. The MD-1200 is I believe a 6 or an 8 horse Tecumseh engine with 1-speed forward, 1 reverse. Otherwise, they're very similar. And those engines were actually sourced from the Sears Suburban type lawnmowers. So they were commonly available.
So who do you think Struck was trying to market these to? What was the I guess the purpose or the goal? Why would you do this?
The Popular Mechanics type readers, though, the hobby homeowner type people that had a shop, think they wanted to build something. It wasn't a light task. If you bought this and built it, you actually accomplished something. And I know that because I've torn this down and rebuilt it. And I did this over probably a 2.5-month period, working weekends, a lot of late evenings.
And tell us just a little bit about, I guess, the inside. You got the engine, the Tecumseh engine, but it gets a little more unique from there, doesn't it?
It is. Most of the dozers that you see here are purely mechanical gear drive, chains, or hydraulic today. This is very simple yet complex, right? Simple is it's using belts and pulleys or shifts, and it's using a tension mechanism with the hand levers. So when you, either side, if you push it forward, it releases the tension on the reverse side and applies tension to the belt on the forward side. So that tightens up around the shifts and allows the dozer to move. When you're in neutral, the belts are essentially idling around the shifts. So it goes into a free spin.
And braking also is kind of unique too.
Yeah, the braking is odd, and I didn't really understand what it was until I started putting it back together. Under the seat base frame, or the plate that goes over the chassis, there's a unique mechanism, a cantilever mechanism that you tighten up a wing nut, and it applies pressure to the traction shifts. They're 12-inch, 5/8 by 12-inch shifts, and it applies pressure to the belts so they can't move.
So how rare do you think the Struck is these days? You can't really go to the dealer and have anything done. You can't order it probably anymore from a magazine. How rare is this machine today?
It's hard to find. Trust me, I continue to look. I would pick up a second one if I could. They come up infrequently. You look around today, you're not going to find another one.
Rare today. How useful do you think it was back in the day? You put it together, you have the sense of accomplishment of doing that, but I mean, could you really do any work with this mini dozer?
Probably not. I think it was more the satisfaction of creating something. And for myself, it's a novelty. I get a lot of self-satisfaction out of being able to restore and bring something back to life.
So Dennis, you brought the Struck to the show in your hometown of Pinckneyville, Illinois. Lots of crawlers here this year for the show. Some a lot bigger than yours, some more plentiful, more common. Is this one still getting some attention even so?
Oh, it's getting a lot of attention, yeah. As I drove it in, it was still loaded. While it was loaded, people were taking photos of it.
All right, Dennis Connor from Pinckneyville, Illinois. Thanks for sharing the story of the Struck.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Dennis is holding on to his little Struck. It's a mini dozer and it stacks up just fine against some of those other crawlers that are out here today. Hey, thanks for catching Classic Tractor Fever. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel right here on YouTube. You can also find even more videos and branded merchandise over on our website, ClassicTractorsTV.com. Now don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button.